Good evening, Lady Eagle fans, and welcome out to Buffalo Wild Wings on a Sunday night. Delighted to have you out here. Big week behind us, big week ahead of us. I am Doug Gann, alongside of head coach Brad Turney. And Coach, welcome.
Thank you. It's always good to be here.
Look, it's I'm excited that I'm not having the sun on me like I had on there yesterday up in the perch.
It was warm out there yesterday. But it's still not that August 105.
No, look, I complain when it's cold, when it's hot, when it's dry, when it's wet, all of it. So just that's just one of those things.
Part of it.
Look, you guys had a tremendous week. I know Saturday wasn't what you wanted it to be, but we like to focus on that district. You had a big win on Avoyelles, had a milestone that week, had Kinder on Thursday night, and then St. Fred's for a couple on Saturday. But take us back through Monday or Tuesday, whatever it was. Anyway, the Avoyelles game, because it was a big night.
It ended up being a real big night because Kaylee ended up passing her 500th career strikeout that night, so that's always something special. I mean, I know Avoyelles was down that day, but something like that, like I talked about on Tuesday night, I mean, to have that in a high school career, that's something to be proud of.
Indeed it is, and that just means, and look, so in the post-game interview, when I'm trying to talk to her about that, she's like, look, I care less about the strikeouts, but more about them not hitting the ball. And that's what her focus is. She doesn't keep up with it. And that's that true character that you get out of Kaylee Methvin.
It really does. And, I mean, the reason she ends up racking those strikeouts up is because we talk about pitching to contact.
Right.
She doesn't care about the strikeouts. She knows that are just part of the game. And because she's one of those plus throwers, she ends up racking up a few more. But she would much rather be out of an inning in 4 or 5 pitches and save the arm. So, I mean, I love that mentality that she wants to attack the zone and get people to put balls in play.
And so one of the thoughts that we had, and we talked about it on the broadcast that night, was you were going to make the trip to Kinder on Thursday night. That was a big district matchup for you guys because, I mean, Kinder is what Kinder is in that game, and it was going to be a true test, a D1 pitcher that's going to be out there, and didn't know if the pitching you saw against the Avoyelles would be good or bad for you on Thursday.
No, but we prepared a different way. Coach Hunter, he knows how to do the windmill. I do not. So if I'm throwing batting practice or Coach Charles is throwing batting practice, it's just a simple underhand flip, and it doesn't really do much for him. But he knows how to windmill, so it gave them the look of the arm, and he probably set it up at 25, 30 feet, and he was throwing it to him. So we were preparing them to hit something faster, and that first time through the lineup, I mean, all of them were trying to get big. I mean, you see that in younger hitters, that a girl that throws harder or a pitcher that throws harder tend to get harder swings, and that's why they get the swings and misses. But we calmed them down, and I told them, look, do the same thing you were doing in BP. Get ready early, pepper the right center gap, and if it shows up inside, you react. And we ended up pulling off, I think 12 or 13 hits that night. I mean, it was
huge.
Fun.
This is another night, and one of those big players, too, and she actually just walked in front of us, too. She had told us in front of the Avoyelles game that she felt like she was going to have her first out-of-the-park home run. The pitching didn't lead. I mean, you were going to have to muscle up and get that one out of there. But then the first pitch of the game Thursday?
First pitch, well, and seeing that, I think that's what the key was in her at-bat, was she's a slapper.
Right.
She led off the game. She was just trying to get some momentum and get a barrel on a ball and start something early, and she created some great contact. She was the one through the top of the lineup, like I said, because she was a slapper that didn't overswing. So she put the barrel on it, and it went, and it was so fun to watch. I mean, I wish I could have seen my reaction on video. Well, I was jumping up. I was excited for her.
I love parent videos of things because the first half of the video, you get the batting stance, you see the hit,
but
and the rest of the video, you see the sky and the
the
chain
minute
link
it disappears,
fence.
The video's over and the celebration starts.
Yeah, because whoever's taking the video is jumping up and down and crying in the camera, and so yeah, of course we're talking about you. Yes, yes we are. We're talking about
we're talking about the video.
What a great! Can you not hear that?
No, we're talking about the video, like how the first half it's beautiful, and then as soon as the ball disappears, you see the stands and everybody else screaming.
Look, come sit down up here. We'll jump you into the first segment too. Which head? Okay, I can see you. Look, that's
welcome. There she is.
Sawyer Shelton joins us on here, and we talked a little bit before those games on Saturdays about that big home run. you predicted it on Thursday night that it was coming, on Tuesday that it was coming.
I did. I had okay, this is really weird, but I had a dream about it.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I just have a gut feeling it's going to happen. And I thought it was going to happen in the Avoyles game. That's like the night before it happened.
Right.
But we didn't get any good pitching in Avoyles. Like, there wasn't really no chance.
Right.
So then Kenzie Lyles was like, sorry, I promise you, like, it's going to be the Kinder game. I just have a feeling. And I was like, we'll see. And then right before I went up to bat, he was like, are you going to hit one out first pitch? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to hit one out. Like, I was like, yeah,
Walked
sure.
by her and said, "You're going to hit a bomb first pitch?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, sure."
Yeah.
And lo and behold.
And lo and behold, first pitch, it left.
And I really didn't know it was gone at first. I just hit the ball because it felt solid, but
Right.
I hit it and then ran, and Coach Hunter had his hand up. I'm like, why are you giving me a high five already? I haven't even done anything yet.
And look, you made it around. You could see a lot of times home run trots, they don't get around the bases. Everybody knows how fast you can get around the bases. I think you ran around as fast as you could on that.
Well,
When did you slow
I was just ready
up?
to give my team. Really, I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I finally did it.
Look, that was great. And we were talking, when you heard us talking about it, we were talking about the video that's floating around. And parental videos are cool for half the video, because you can see half of it, and then the camera's looking at the sky and the fence and everything, and everybody's screaming.
They're just doing their thing.
My
they're
mom
in
was
the
like
moment.
ecstatic, just so happy.
They've been talking about this for a while. I mean, you should have seen how excited we got when she hit the first one over the fence in practice. I mean, everybody had been rooting for this to happen.
It's on my nightstand right now. It says I labeled it first home run in practice, 2/18. That's the date. And then I hit one like a week later, and it was like second home run in practice, 2/26 or something.
And now she got the other ball.
You're not going to have room for them anymore the way you keep it.
Right,
I guess
let's hope.
inside the park home runs are boring now.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I just get tired of those. And
Look.
I feel like it takes work to run around the bases, and I didn't really have to run around the
See?
bases this time.
That's
You
way
still
cooler.
ran fast.
That's way cooler, isn't it, doing
Yes, sir.
that? How are you feeling? Saturday gave us all a little bit of a scare there in that game. How are you doing?
I'm feeling a lot better. I mean, I'm still like woke up tired and like kind of drowsy this morning, but other than that, I'm good.
Look, we were our prayers certainly with you on there too. Good to see you back in there. We knew that if you didn't play in that one, you certainly couldn't have been feeling well, because I don't care if you got a broken leg, you're going to
Yes,
try
sir.
to be in there. There's no doubt about
Yes,
that.
sir.
How was the bus ride back on Thursday night? And there's video
No
proof
words,
of
Corey,
it.
honestly,
Well,
it's
now there's
amazing.
video proof of it too of there, but no, it was such a big win, because it's got you ladies undefeated in district with the district championship right in front of you, the opportunity for it.
Yeah, going into it, we knew that this would be like probably the district championship, and like because like our hardest competition, and so I really haven't been nervous for a game so far this year. In that game, I was like, okay, this is like we're on the line right now. Like, we have to win this game to win district. And like I just kept telling everybody that. And then like they was going around, they're like, this pitcher's really good, and like we were getting a little bit nervous.
Well, she's a D1 commit
Yeah,
too. She's going to Purdue.
And she was really good.
Yeah.
And I'll give her that. But I was like, we can't overthink it. Like, we have to just like know what we know how to do.
But isn't that what you want to see? You want to see that kind of pitching, because you're going to see it like you saw it Saturday, and you're going to see it on throughout the playoffs as well. What do you do to make sure that you don't have a drop down from that game Thursday with those last two district games that you have?
I think we just play how we played against them every time. Like, just think that we're playing against Kinder, our hardest competitor, and just do what we do.
As always, tremendous job, great work. Saw yourself, and thanks for joining us
Thank
tonight.
you.
Look, when you can't avoid getting somebody on the show, she gets on there that quick. Tremendous job from Sawyer, and I know it throws things around, but we can go an extra 15, 20 minutes if we want, because baseball, they'll be there.
They'll just let us have it.
They'll be there. We appreciate Coach Jordan Marks for giving his time to us and letting us have that. Now, just an exciting young lady. She really is.
She's definitely a spark plug for this team. So, I mean, like I said, we had to get something started early with Kinder, and she definitely provided that spark right away. Because, I mean, as soon as she came up her second at bat, she ended up working a walk, I think it was. So, I mean, she got back on the top of the lineup. She did what she was supposed to do. And, I mean, she's so versatile. I can put her in the 1, the 2. You saw Emma Davis in the 1 hole. I think she does a good job there. You saw that Saturday.
Fast.
She is.
I'm telling you, when she's
So, I
on
mean,
base, you can believe if she's at first, she's going to be at third like
But
that.
but you can toss a coin with either one of them that can fit there. And, I mean, Emma's done pretty well in the 3 hole as well since we moved the lineup around. So, I mean, it's good to have those ones where you can plug them in different spots in the lineup and they can handle what they need to do.
But then you out of your 9-hole, there's your 8th grader hitting her 6th bomb, and I mean putting a dent in the scoreboard. I'm glad that it was a foot over from us, and it didn't knock me. I could imagine it knocking me off of the scaffold.
When she hit it, that was my first thought. I said, "Oh God!" Doug was talking. He was worried about getting hit with a home run, and there it comes. But now, she is having a phenomenally special year. As young as she is, and as poised as she is, I mean, you saw she made what was it? The couple errors early in the Kinder game, and I went in the dugout, and she's absolutely in tears. I just put my hands on her shoulder. I was like, "Kinsey, you're young. You're going to make mistakes out there. I need you to stay in this game. Take a minute, breathe it off, and then go." And then she came out and got 2 hits. Big hits after that. I mean, the girl is just having a year. I've been really impressed with that young lady.
Look, seeing your team and then seeing them on Saturday, how they got down early in that one too. And I've got to believe the wind pushed that ball out of there, that 7 hits to start things off, that grand slam. Because, I mean, I'm thinking that Sawyer's right there to catch it, and it gets a gust. Again, she's a great hitter. She's got 11 on the season, so I'm not taking anything away. But, boy, that was a difference in the game early.
It was. I mean, she got a piece of one that got kind of left up in the zone. We were trying to go a couple balls off, and I'm not going to say it missed a spot because it was still a decent spot, but that was a really good hitter. And just, I mean, the softball field's small. It's only 200 feet and wind blowing out. I mean, it's going to go. I think on a calm day that stays in, and we don't end up with a grand slam there. I mean,
and Sawyer's tracking it, and the next thing I know, we're all looking over the fence.
Yeah, you saw off the bat she had a bead on it, like she was going to be camped, and the wind just kept carrying it. But that's part of it, though.
It impressed me, and this was in pregame warm-up, is the way that Drago goes to a ball in the outfield. No, she's in left field to start with, but y'all were doing warm-ups, and there's a ball that's hit to the fence, and she tracks it down. I was like, I didn't realize she could go get one that way.
She can. I think sometimes, I mean, and you saw it. I saw it right in front of you to start that second game. Sometimes I think they lose focus at the end, and we don't finish those catches. And that's one of the things I think I kind of unloaded on them in between games, because it was like I was tired of seeing balls go up in the air, and I felt like the balls that should be caught and they're hitting the ground, and it causes big innings and things like that. So I still think we really got to work on that. Yeah, they take great routes to the ball. Sometimes they take terrible routes. I mean, there's still that up and down, and like I said, that's what we need to even out before we get to the playoff part of it.
Well, there was a stretch in there that was so solid defensively on 2 back-to-back plays, as a matter of fact, and that was our cool plays of the week. It was the time that
I'm sorry.
Is she leaving? How are you leaving? She got mad at us?
I don't know.
All right. She'll be back. But it was a shot up the middle that Kaylee snags. And then
we almost had 3 in a row.
I know.
In 3 pitches. Girl hits a line drive off Kaylee's glove that she misses, and I think it bounced over to Sophie at shortstop, and we didn't quite get the girl at second. And then the very next pitch, she snags that one, and then the very next pitch, Sophie makes that dive and play down the line.
For those watching at home, let's take a look at that's our cool play of the game on there for the Lady Eagles. They'll be able to see it.
Right,
we've got it here. They won't have it in the crowd, but we'll go back and watch it. Chuck, hit that for us.
I want to see this again.
One down in the top of the 5th we play. Already a couple of runs across here. It's 10-2. That one right back to Medfin, who gloves that one.
That was impressive instinct and reaction timing from Medfin. She just caught it right back and was about to throw it right back to second base. But her teammates couldn't react to it. And so they're like, oh, wow, she's already caught the ball. And so she wasn't able to get the ball back to second base to get that double play.
That was huge. Now that'll bring up Kendall Taylor out of a base hit her last time up. Taylor lifts that one. It's high and playable, though. Chasing back is Lyles. Shortstop. Sophie's going to call her off and go over and get that one. The mask falls off.
She loses the mask. She does everything, but she does not lose the softball. And what a great job that was on back-to-back pitches.
And that's when you look at it and say, on it, okay, I don't like the score, but I love the way that we're playing.
I do. I can say that we did definitely. Here's a positive out of the weekend.
Right.
We definitely did not show St. Frederick our best.
That's correct.
They did not see us at our best, so I think we saw them at their best because they played a very exceptional ball game. Both of them.
They did.
Both of their pitchers pitched well. They threw strikes. I think we had a little bit more success against the second girl, but they didn't give up.
That's right.
They didn't give up the entire time. I mean, we didn't put a lot of stuff together in the first game. I think I made some coaching mistakes running girls maybe when they shouldn't have, but it's things that you second guess. We were down. I was trying to make things happen.
Yeah,
yes, they made plays.
But in your defense, though, too, in that's been the way that you guys have played all year.
We have.
You've played that, and they've got to make the catch, make the throw, and it's a great arm that Hauser has out there, too.
She does. I mean, that's a college-level player right there. I mean, she's awesome.
You know,
I even told her that after the game. I stopped. I was like, look, I love the way you play the game. Not just the fact that you're a good player. It's the way you approach it. I watch how you do it in the outfield. You're moving before your coach has to tell you. You see those nuances that a lot of players don't, and I told my players about it, too.
Yep.
I mean, watch how these girls communicate with each other. It's different.
And
it's
look,
different,
when you're
and it
sliding
shows.
and the dirt's going and all of this is flying around, that one that we dropped there at home, you changed things up a little bit too.
Did it ever?
But you just, it's one of those things. You got to flush it and move on, though. That's the thing.
But
and they do a good job of that.
Again, I would rather have them in those big moments where games are close against that tight team. I'd rather have them make the mistake now and understand what that moment is about so they're ready for it the next time it shows up.
Absolutely. Let's take our first break. We'll take a break. It may be our only break of this show, too. I'm excited about this one. When we come back, we'll get and name our BU Designs Player of the Week. We'll have, I know Sophie's going to come up with us, too. Kaylee's going to come up in that. We've got mics for both of them. We'll do all of that when we come back. We'll be back. You're watching the Around the Diamond with Turney and Marks. They almost forgot what we were watching there, but I know we're watching something. We'll be right back right after this.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
At Wallace Eye Associates, right now is the best time to have your cataracts removed. A new year means a new deductible, so if you're just not seeing as well as you used to, schedule your cataract evaluation today. It's fully covered by all medical insurances, including Medicare. You never need a referral at Wallace Eye Associates, and our method of next-generation cataract care is the most affordable in the state. There's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
And we're back to Buffalo Wild Wings on a Sunday night. Lady Eagles talk right now. And the two that you saw in that play a little bit earlier, Kaylee Methvin and Sophie Giordano, join us here. And congratulations on a big week, ladies, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Look, that was a huge win against Kinder. That was awesome.
It was.
Look, Kaylee, let's go back on that Tuesday, and I didn't get much out of you that after the game on there, but congratulations on eclipsing 500 strikeouts in your career.
Thank you.
Look, and you just kept rolling along, too, in that, so that's good to see. You had to go back, though, and get prepared and face a pretty solid Kinder team on Thursday. I'll set y'all ready for it. Take me through that. the Kinder game. It started off with a big home run.
Oh, yeah, Sawyer's first home run,
And
first
then
pitch.
I think defensively in the bottom of the first, you guys had a triple play.
Triple
It was
play.
so good.
After
So
some
good.
terrible defense. What, we make an error, and then they would make a no play,
We're
and
trying
then we
not
give
to
up a
bring
single.
that part of it up.
But no, but that was the absolute tone of that game. I mean, you start off, we get the home run, but then we go 1, 2, 3. So I mean, it kind of shut down the fire right away. And then we go out there and we give up a single, we make an error, and then we make a no play, and now we got the bases loaded, nobody out, when we should be running around with 2 outs. And
It
bam,
worked
and then
in
all
our
of a sudden,
favor.
it worked in our favor. It worked in our favor, and everything started going from there.
When you get ready for big games like that, and you know you'll have a lot more of them down the line too, you've got some of them coming up. What's your mindset getting into a game like that?
I just told myself that because I knew Kinder was a good team, so
Right.
in my head I was just like, if they get a hit, it's all right because we'll come back because I know we're a good hitting team too.
And that's what I was thinking too when you're saying that. You guys are a good team, and that's the difference of it, is that there wasn't a bit of quit. Even in a game like that where you had the injuries on Saturday, you guys kept continuing to keep hitting and keep playing defense on there, and that shows me as much in a loss as the Avoyelles game did in a win. You know, I think you learn a little more from that. How spirited was the bus ride?
Amazing.
It was great.
The whole hour and 15 minutes on the way home, music was on full blast. We were all,
It did die for a good minute. Everybody
Everyone
was
freaked
freaking
out.
A whole minute?
Yeah.
Wow.
You would have thought the apocalypse was coming because that speaker died, the music didn't play, and
that was funny.
hair was raising.
There was a song back there about the day the music died. Wow, we can't have that. But for your performance over your career, this is normally a weekly award, but for getting the 500 strikeout, you are our weekly BU Designs Player of the Week winner on there. So
Thank you.
congratulations
I want
for
everybody to
that.
understand it's not just 500. It's for that performance
Well, yeah,
she
no,
had
absolutely.
at Kinder too. I mean, without that pitching performance, we're not in that ball game. And she hit a big home run in that ball game too. I mean, she just had a really good week. So congratulations, Kelly.
Thank
We're
you.
super proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome job without a doubt. So you're at the midpoint, I guess, of your district play. You've got a couple of games left. How do you stay focused? And we asked Sawyer this in that first segment on there. How do you survive having a letdown in the final 2 district games because you did take care of Kinder?
I think we got it. I don't think my going into the Kinder game, we were like, whoever wins this game is going to be district champs. And we won. So
But that's what he's asking. How do we stay up after
Right.
that game right there? It's
We
back
have
to
motivation.
preparation. And motivation, and we don't have a chance to stop and think about it because we go right back in Monday. We play Bunkie. We got
Right.
Tuesday. We go to Rapides, and then Port Barry comes to us on Thursday. So I don't think there's really a chance to get out of that mindset. You just keep grinding.
And I've watched Port Barry a lot throughout the season because a guy that does some stuff with us during football is an assistant coach there too, and he sends me things. I mean, they score a lot of runs too. Port Barry can put up some runs. So what do you do to shut that down?
We got to get back and we got to stress the defensive side of it because we know we're going to score some runs. But I mean, looking at what we've done this year, I mean, we've played 18 games. We're 99. We're at 500. We've got 52 errors as a season. And I would say in those 9 losses, there's 45 of those errors. So, I mean, we've got to show up and we've got to, and we talked about it last time, we've got to finish the plays. I think we make perfect efforts at balls, but then when the moment's there, we're not focused all the way through it. And I think that's what we got to fix on.
First time, Kayla, that I've seen you in center field was in that game Saturday. What a gun home. I mean, it was great to see. I think there was one to third and the one to home. I'm excited about you catching a fly ball with a runner on third base because I want to see what's about to happen. I mean, what's going through your mind when you see that? It's like, oh, yeah, it's on.
I mean, I just know where I have to throw it. I mean, there was one I definitely should have hit my cutoff. I've kind of flung that one over. But
look, it's great to see that arm. Sophie, you were shaken up in that game that was on there too. On one, it occurred after the diving catch that we saw a minute ago. You were diving for one in the dirt. What happened to you there? You broke a nail? And had to go get that. You went and got a pedicure. Is that what happened?
I don't, but I looked at my finger and it was like sideways, and I said, and Coach Price said,
which one was it?
It was my pinky.
It was a pinky.
He said,
Okay.
he said, I think it's out of place. I said, I was like, I'm
Passed out
bawling.
at that point.
And then I was like, wait. Oh, I can move it. I'm fine. I was being very dramatic, I think.
I don't know. I felt that nodding in there. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
But
At first
I don't know if
could.
it popped
Yeah,
back
it
in
was,
pretty quick, but it was
We're good.
You're good. Bunkie coming in tomorrow. Bunkie's a good team. We've seen them before out in a tournament out at Ward 10, and they're going to be ready. What do you guys do to say, hey, look, Saturday is gone. Here comes Monday, and we're going to get Bunkie.
I think if we had the same mindset as Kinder, we were up the entire game. If someone struck out, they were fine. And I think if we had the same mindset going to Bunkie, we would win. I feel like if we had the same mindset that we went into the Kinder game the rest of the season, we would win everything. We would win it all.
Look, you're already on record saying that you're going to play for the championship and you're going to win it, and that's never going to go away. I think, Coach, you talked about if you can get a handle on the errors that are on there, things are going to be just fine. And I saw some signs of that. There were some big bang plays. The ball got dropped on there too, but that's going to happen.
There were, but like you said, that's part of the maturing process. They'll be ready for that stage next time it comes. But yeah, that's the one thing that's going to get us. Like I said, when our A team shows up and we play our A game, we're going to be hard to beat across the board. But we've got to be able to get that more often than what we're showing right now.
Well, you ladies are a lot of fun to watch. There's no doubt about that. I've got the best seat in the house, I think, now, up outside the left field wall. It's great up there too. I thought Kenzie was going to hit me with the ball.
Yeah,
she hit.
I thought so too,
I mean,
honestly.
it was right. Right beside me. Look, my fear is that one of them comes at me and I fall off the scaffolding the back way. That's what I've got.
That would be terrible.
That would be that's why it's a fear that I have. That would be very terrible. Look, as long as Sawyer doesn't dream that in like she did the home run, everything's going to be just fine. Kaylee, congratulations on your great week and your Player of the Week. Congratulations, Sophie, on the great season that you guys are having. And Coach Brad, we're excited for this stretch run that we start to make, and it starts tomorrow.
I am too. I'm ready to get north with some of these injuries, but like you said, I was proud of the resilience that they showed even after the injuries, because I mean Kaylee tore her nail up. I mean, it's looking pretty bad. She did that before the Kinder game, so I mean she battled through a lot of stuff there. Sophie's been having her back ailments, and she tried to battle through it for us as much as she could. Like I went out there to take her out of the game, and she's got tears in her eyes, and she's like, you're not taking me out. I said, Kaylee. I mean, Sophie, we need you for later in the season. Right. Even if you don't pitch right now, we got other arms that we can put in there. I mean, and look at Mika came in and actually did a good job first couple times through the lineup.
I was really impressed with the way that Mika came in. You heard that on our broadcast when she came in, because I'd not seen her throw before.
She's thrown a couple JV innings. That's
kept them really off balance.
I mean,
in that
she really did. I think she can actually be a weapon in that aspect, because, like you said, the first time through the lineup, she got, I think, every one of them out. She threw up like 2 zeros in a row, and then that one inning where they had the big inning in the second game, we had an error in that one. I mean, she was cruising in that inning. We made a big mistake in that one, and it cost us a couple of runs. So, I mean, I was really surprised with her. She's impressed me.
It's good things that you can take out of games like that give you excitement about this stretch run on here.
Well, I think the biggest one is, like we said in the last segment, is the fact that we have not shown St. Frederick what we are about.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, hopefully we'll see them one more time down the road. That would be
if we do, it's going to be different. So.
That's going to wrap it up for the softball segment, so our baseball fans don't start baseball fanning like they I know, right? I told them we'd squeeze them in about 10 minutes at the end, and we would just talk softball the entire time on there. See, it's changing. I got my first 2 grandkids coming, and they're both girls, so I'm all softball now.
For a while,
I'm all softball now.
This for a while.
We're all in. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Kaylee, congratulations. Thank you. Sophie, we appreciate you being here. Sawyer, where did she go?
She left.
And I mean, you see how fast it was? I told you she's fast.
I think I got powder puff practice this evening too. So.
I see, and she just said, how are you sitting there by yourself?
Abby.
She lost.
Okay, get out of your phone. We're talking to you. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's baseball time. And we'll see you. We'll talk to you. We'll be on the air. Tomorrow the game's at 5 o'clock. We'll go on the air at 4:50. Make sure you join us there. We'll see you back with baseball right after this.
welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings for Around the Diamond with Coach Turney and Coach Marks. And now it's a baseball segment. Coach Jordan Marks joined us. I'm Nick Magnano, joined again by Danny Clear, who had the weekend off last week. Coach, what do we think about that,
It's
man?
good to see him back. It's good to see him back. Which we all need a little time here and there, but I'm glad to see him back on the mic.
So, Coach, I guess we'll go straight into a big week this past week. Started out with Kinder at Kinder and didn't quite get the result that we wanted. Talk us through that game a little bit.
So, I mean, Peyton Procell started that game, and he was 67% strikes, 68% strikes. I thought he threw well enough for us to win that game. We kind of shot ourselves in the foot. We had 3 big infield errors that led to 5 runs. So I thought we hit the ball well. I thought our approach at the plate was very well. And we barreled some baseballs. And the weird thing about Kinder is that south wind blows straight in from right field. So it's blowing from right field to third base. And so you kind of take right field out of the equation. Well, we didn't know that when we got there. And, of course, they're used to playing on it. So we'll have a lot of our guys hit backside, and that was just how to play on Tuesday night. So, hopefully we get another shot at those guys, which, if we take care of business on Tuesday, we will, and we'll have a different approach. And the field was a little hard. I'm going to talk to LSUA and see if we can rent out that the week prior and start taking some ground balls on a real dirt field because I think that hurt us too. But, hey, look, we had a chance to win it. Like I said, it was self-inflicted. That got to us, and we'll be ready for the next time we see them.
And look, that don't we'll get more later, but that don't determine the district championship right there, right?
No.
So we'll get another chance at that.
Right.
So we're not out of the running for that. Got a lot to play for, but that didn't take you out of it.
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Boy, two players. Y'all already thinking about the next one. I mean, let's talk about what happened here.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. And then come back on Thursday and man, they're at Rapides, another one on the road, and get out to a great start and had a good pitching performance.
We did. We worked on Rob. He threw a bullpen Monday after his performance last week. We worked some things out. We talked about the mental side of the game with him and everything else, and he was ready. I told him, I said, I want to see if you can go complete game, and he did. He went 6, 99 pitches. And had 10 strikeouts and only 2 walks in that game. And I thought Rob threw really well. It took us a little while to get started on the offensive side, but when we did, hitting's contagious, and so we kept hammering the ball. And I thought we played well. The score doesn't show it, but it was 13-0 going into the 7th.
Yeah.
And through some younger guys with no experience, trying to get some experience at that point in the ball game, and it just didn't work out how we wanted it to. But nonetheless, we ended on a good note.
So that makes you now 3-1 in district. With the only loss being Danny Jeff.
Well, no, I was going to say, and then keeping with the theme of not making things easy.
Tell me about it.
Oh, good point.
Tell me about it.
We go into Friday night against Glenmore. Go ahead.
Well, we had a 7-0 lead in the 5th, and shot ourselves in the foot again on some mental errors. I know they look physical, but I think they're more mental than they are physical, and that's something that we're going to harp on tomorrow at practice. Over those 3 games, I mean, the pink elephant in the room, we had 12 errors. We had 12 errors in those 3 games, and we were 2-1 on the week. So that's not always going to be the case. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but we're going to get back in the lab tomorrow and fix that. I can guarantee you we'll be working on some defensive stuff. But on a positive note, we've worked on a bunch of bunting stuff. We worked on some base running things. We've worked on pitchers throwing strikes because that was our problem a couple of weeks ago, and everything that we work on, we're getting better at. So I don't have a feeling that, defense is going to be our downfall for the weeks coming. So
Talk to some of the things we talked about earlier in the season, and we've seen, and what you're talking about, things we're working on and everything, and what has happened at the bottom of the lineup with Cutter being able to get on base. That's huge for you guys.
Huge.
So between that and your pitching, you guys starting to throw strikes. Those are things that you worked on, and I mean you were 2-7.
Yeah.
Well, we're 6 6, 7, 8.
7 and 8.
7 and 8.
7 and 8.
16 in the power ratings, moved up again today.
Yep.
So that's good, which I know, once again, we'll worry about that at the end of the season. But before we get into our cool play of the game, another thing, Danny brought up, Cutter, but also just the back part of your lineup now, putting contact, putting the ball in play. That's been what the strikeouts have been cut down. I mean, from what I can see.
No, there's no doubt. And I think we hit around 350 as a team this week. I think we had 29 hits in 3 games, so we're averaging around 10 hits a game. In district play and against a good quality opponent like Glen Moore, these guys can hit, and they've stuck with their approach, and they've bought into their approach. They all have the same approach. I'm not going to say it on the air what it is because it could hurt us on guys listening for pitching. But guys know what they're doing. They're trying to do it. Even though we're still making some mistakes, I think it's all mental mistakes, and they turn into physical mistakes. But like I said, we're going to keep grinding.
Well, speaking of the approach at the plate, I don't know if you heard, we asked Peyton a couple weeks ago about his approach at the plate because he was a lot like Drake. He looks like he can hit the ball where it's pitched and everything.
Yep.
And I asked him, said, "Well, what's your approach at the plate?" And see if he had something mentally in mind.
Just swings.
See ball, hit ball.
See ball, hit ball. I love it. I love it.
With not that quite much energy.
I just see the ball and hit the ball. No, Peyton's a good hitter, and he's struggling a little bit right now, but he's kind of pressing himself. But I mean, he's what they call a natural hitter. He's got a natural eye for it, and he doesn't try to do too much. I think that's what he's been doing the last week or so, and so he's going to get back on it though. But
before we go to the play, we'll talk about the player that started that play, and obviously probably didn't have the game that he wanted to have that night.
Yep.
Probably was a little mentally out of the game, even up to that point, and gets a big strikeout, bases loaded, gets this double play ball. And then when he comes back out in the 7th,
he looked like a total new person.
That's the confidence and momentum and how that portrays into a game and plays itself into a game.
And look, we are 15 games in this season, but still these guys have only played 15 varsity games, and each day, like I say after every game, each day we get a little better on something. And Tishner had a tough time Thursday against Rapides. He was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts and just trying to do too much, and we're going to get him back in and really talk about the mental side of things. But he kicked a few balls the other night against Glen Moore, and then we sent him down to the pen, and I sent my pitching coach down there. I sent a couple guys, hey, y'all talk positive to him, let him know that even though he's done bad, he's still got to save the game for us, and that's what he did. He started off a little rocky in the 6th, but gets a punch out and then gets a 1-2-3 double play to end that inning, and then like I said in the 7th, he came out and looked like Craig Kimbrell, like a closer.
Broadcast crew was a little confused on that. Danny, we thought whenever he came out during the inning.
And I asked him about
the re-enter. So
so
he
starters
still has
can re-enter.
Okay.
Yep. And you'll see me do it sometimes when Lane's batting and he gets on base. I'll pinch run for him and then re-enter him.
Yeah. We knew that. Now, what about so when Gravel came out after that?
He's dead.
He was out.
He was a starter.
Yeah.
Starters only re-enter, right?
Starters only re-enter.
Yeah, that one was for me. Danny knew that one, but well, we're going to go. This is the first time we've done this on this show. We've done this in the past, but we're gonna do our Southern Air cool play of the game and let Coach Jordan talk us through this one. It was a 1-2-3 double play in the top of the 6th, which really helped the Eagles get out of the jam.
No doubt, and I like good stat lines, and a 1-2-3 double play always looks good in the book when you write it down.
And we're going to look at the monitor here so Coach Jordan can. Yep, we're ready. So your Southern Air cool play of the game here. Talk us through this one, Coach.
All right, so
first pitch
bases are loaded. Guy hits a high chopper to pitch it around. Tishman throws it home, and Parr is ready for it, knows exactly what to do with it, and throws it to first base. I mean, that's a heck of a play. And Parr, knowing that he's got to go to first right there to end the inning, Tishman struggling a little bit. I think that's a big heads-up play.
So we're going to tell you, like we told Ben last year, whenever when you get done coaching, hopefully it's going to be a long time from now. At least give us a couple of years before you take the mic. That was a good job there on the call there. But yeah, that was a big play for your Eagles. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll have 2 of your Eagles on the mics here, get to know the 2 of the players. Whenever we come back, you're watching you're watching Around the Diamond with Turney and Marks on 446 Sports.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau Insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
At Wallace Eye Associates, right now is the best time to have your cataracts removed. A new year means a new deductible. So if you're just not seeing as well as you used to, schedule your cataract evaluation today. It's fully covered by all medical insurances, including Medicare. You never need a referral at Wallace Eye Associates, and our method of next-generation cataract care is the most affordable in the state. There's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
And welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings. We're now joined by two of your Eagle baseball players. Introduce yourselves. You introduce yourself first.
I'm a freshman named Reed LaRue, and I play anywhere Coach tells me to play.
I'm a freshman, Cooper Sutton. I play second base.
Cooper Sutton. Coop, if I've called you Cooper Scott, I'm sorry. But, I mean, that's not a bad comparison for the record. But, yeah, two young men that get a lot of playing time for Eagles. All right, so I usually ask the first question is usually about food. But I learned that Friday night after the game that you got a nickname named Bricklayer.
Bricklayer.
Okay, tell us about that one.
I think it was when I was little. Mr. Robert Tossan, he used to watch me play basketball, and I used to brick it all the time.
He actually said that you actually had a really good shot. You scored a lot. He said, but there was one time you were really talking noise to him. And in that game or that day at practice, you just kept bricking everything. So of course, well, let's start off with this. Have you guys been at Menard 7th grade, 8th grade, and now freshmen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I started in 8th grade.
You started in 8th grade. Where'd you come from?
Country Day.
Country Day. Okay. You played ball for them. Okay, and you're also a football player, right?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
And I know you're a soccer player because I coached against your dad and hear your dad talk about it. So, all right, so this is just a question for everybody to get to know, and it's nothing new. Favorite food, not place to eat, but favorite food. Reed?
I like some good chicken tenders, hand-breaded chicken tenders with some ranch on the side.
Okay, is good meaning like it's got to be my dad's, or it could be multiple places? You don't have to say
multiple
it.
places.
Okay, all right, just checking. I just make sure that wasn't anything there for your dad.
Probably chicken tenders.
Chicken tenders. We can tell their age, Coach Danny. You can tell their age. So
So I see you got a little badge of honor there.
Yes,
you want to
sir.
tell us about what happened on that?
I was trying to bunt, and they threw it at my face, and I ate it.
Well, I guess when you're our size, because we're not the tallest guys, your bunt stance, you were probably in the strike zone.
Yeah.
But no, it was
we
good.
were worried about you for a little bit. You
Yeah.
popped up though
Yes, sir.
and run down to first base, so we was happy to see that. So, favorite baseball movie?
Now these are freshmen. This might be one I don't know.
Probably, I don't really watch movies, so
Okay.
probably Sandlot. But I'll say Sandlot.
All right. Cool.
Sandlot.
Okay.
I don't watch
Nice.
movies much.
It's still a classic. I like that.
What about we've asked everybody who's the best dancer on the team?
You can go.
Probably Peyton.
Peyton. All right.
The
Peyton's
freshman
got
class.
a couple.
He does.
He's got a
Freshman class
couple.
coming in.
I'm an underdog, but I'd say myself. I'd say myself.
Oh, young man.
They haven't seen me. They haven't seen me.
Young man lacks no confidence. I mean, I'm not. And we talked about Lane, and we said that the reason why Lane had the upper hand was because of courage. And that's the thing. I mean, a lot of people could dance.
We're going to have a rain out or something at some point, and we're going to have to see. We're going to have to put it to the test.
We'll do a dance off right now.
We might have one Friday. We might have a rain out Friday. I will say this: last week, Mr. Doug, who's Doug Gann, who hosts the softball show, he was trying to get y'all to sing, last week to rival the softball team, but we talked about doing a dance-off. So I think
I'll do a dance-off.
I think we have 2 or 3 that could roll like that.
Well, we easily have the boys have the crowd control tonight for sure. So until we get some more girls show up, then the boys do own that. Baseball owns that.
That's right. So usually we try to do some funny stuff, and then I usually ask for your favorite memory. I know you guys are young at this. Why don't we? It's not very technical, but the biggest difference from 8th grade, from junior high to freshman baseball, Reed?
I feel like you're more nervous as a freshman. You're nervous, but when you're in 8th grade, you're the big dog, and you play loose.
That's right. Yeah. So 8th grade, you play loose. Freshman year, you little okay. What about you, Coop? What you think?
Like 8th grade, you're like, I don't know, like freshman, you get really nervous because like you're new to it. In 8th grade, you're just like, you've been there for a while.
I got you. So, one of the things I was thinking, Danny, I thought first thing out the bat was maybe the speed of the pitches. But so you guys, y'all have adjusted that well. That's not really been something that it's more of just kind of containing, that emotions whenever you're on there and getting used to it. And, you guys are basically sophomores now. We're 15 games into the season and stuff. So I know you talk about, and look, I'm not going to get you in trouble with Coach. You talk about playing anywhere, but is there a position that you grew up playing that you really liked?
Shortstop.
Okay, so hey, everybody's a shortstop, right?
Yes, sir.
What about you? I saw you at third during the jamboree, and then we've seen you at second. Is that a position you've done most of your playing time?
I played catcher and third.
Oh, okay, that's good. It's always good to have another catcher.
So what's your walk-up song?
It's Family Affairs by Mary B. Belge. My brother got me on that.
Oh, your brother. Oh, so you got to pick yours.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
What about you, Coop? What's yours?
In the beginning of the season, it was Little Teacup.
That was our favorite.
Did you pick that?
No. So outside of yours, whose is your favorite?
Probably Lane.
Lane's.
Okay.
I'd probably say Lane's as well.
Okay.
Man, I tell you what, Lane's.
Look, I will say this, Reed. Your brother must not watch the games because I haven't gotten a text from his girlfriend because I've said several times that I think you had 2 stolen bases in one game, and I said, Reed's already got more stolen bases than Cohen ever had. And of course, I was expecting to get a text from Sarah, updating me that, hey, Cohen said knock it off, but, I ain't gotten anything. So we can't get your brother to watch the games?
No, sir. I'll tell him to get on them.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but you need to get on Sarah. Sarah's Coach Danny's daughter's best friend, one of their best friends.
Yes,
so that's the connection there. So like I said, we talked about going from being 8th grade to a freshman. Okay, what's something in school that interests you the most? If it's another club, or if it's something in school, like a class, favorite subject, yeah.
Favorite subject.
Something in school you.
I'd probably say math.
Math, okay.
Like
what about
math.
you, Coop?
My favorite subject is probably math.
Okay. Do you mind if I call you Coop? Is that okay?
Yeah,
that's okay. I want to make sure I don't insult you. So, man,
that's better than mine. Mine was either PE or lunch, but
mine was shop, and I took 7 shop classes in 4 years. Can't do that anymore, but that might be why I was a non-faculty coach for 25 years and worked my whole life. So, well, guys, you've done a great job. You've done a great job on the field. You've done a great job tonight. So, appreciate y'all joining us. When we come back, we'll have Coach Jordan on again to talk about this week coming up, big week coming up for your Eagles, and we'll also introduce our player of the week. So, you're watching Around the Diamond with Turney and Marks on 446 Sports.
Check out some of our recent work at the Panthers Stadium. In addition to custom signs and banners, we also handle custom trophies, custom awards, custom vehicle wraps, and more. Give us a call. We handle projects large and small.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone, day or night, wherever you are or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
Chuck, it would have been nice to have a mics are hot, you know. But welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings here in Alexandria, Louisiana for Around the Diamond with Turney and Marks. We're just having a good time tonight. This is all natural. This is all we're having a good time. Organic, I think they call it there. So we're now joined by our BU Design Player of the Week, Rob Henry. Rob Henry joins us. Rob's been on the show before. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach, let's talk about the game that Rob and man, what a big bounce back Rob had from the previous week. So talk about the game he pitched on Thursday night.
So he was turn it. There you go. He was at Rapides and you got it?
Well, I tell you what, our producer's he's all involved tonight. So we had to pause for a picture there, folks. If back home, sorry about that.
So Rob threw 6 innings. He threw 99 pitches and had 10 strikeouts and only 2 walks the other night. So phenomenal job there. And you know, Rob's got the kind of stuff where he can do that. You know, we worked on some mental stuff over the week, and then had a really good bullpen session on Monday. And so, you know, everybody on the team believed what he could do. He just had to get out there and do it. So we're super proud of Rob, and hopefully that gives him some confidence going into this week.
So, Rob, what was working for you the other night?
Well, I had a meeting with all the coaching staff, and they told me that what was working for me, you know, in the previous weeks was, you know, velocity. That's all I was focused on was velocity. But my different approach at Rapides was, you know, kind of fill up the zone and maybe cool off on the velocity a little bit, because we have outfielders, infielders that can make plays that are, you know, they're there for a reason. So I don't have to throw like 86 and not, you know, half of them strikes, half of them not. I can just, you know.
Well, whatever was working, let's carry it on.
Let's keep doing it.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, and also Rob muted me. Here we go. I tell you what, the peanut gallery is in the house tonight. So, but no, sorry about that, folks. But yeah, Rob, just not only the bounce back, but just also knowing that like I said, you have the confidence to where sometimes you can put the ball over the plate and let them put it in play. And of course, Coach Jordan talked about it, and it wasn't a reflection towards the end on the game that you had. But I mean, it was 13-0. You know, whenever you were pulled out the game, and obviously there were some younger players that came in, tried a few things, but which made it 13-7. But that was a great bounce back, and congratulations on that. So, Coach Jordan, let's look at this week we'll just go ahead and stay. Rob, you can stay there. You're definitely part of this segment. We'll just talk about this week, going forward. Start Tuesday night, your last, I guess, district game that's scheduled.
That's right.
Against Port Barry at home, 6 o'clock.
Yep. So it's a JV and a varsity at 6 o'clock. JV at 4, varsity at 6, and that's actually we do a thing every year called Future Eagle Night. Kids, dress up in their uniform, whether it be their school ball uniform or their Dixie or their summer team or their travel team, and they get in the game for free. We let them get on the field and run to the guys' spots and do the prayer and national anthem on the field. We also do dollar hot dog that night, so that usually draws a pretty big crowd for Tuesday. So I did that kind of purposely. It's our last district game at home, so I wanted a big crowd for our players and parents and everybody else. So, and then we're moving into Thursday. We actually play at home on Wednesday, but it's a JV game. So I know 446 doesn't cover it, but come out and support the younger guys. Wednesday at 5 o'clock at Menard, and then Thursday we go to Grant at 6 o'clock and play Grant. And then bounce back on Friday. We got a busy week. Friday we got Opelousas Catholic at Menard at 6 o'clock. So, and they're a pretty good team as well. So we got a busy week, last district week scheduled, so to speak, and so it's a big one, and it's going to be a grind all week, but it kind of sets the tone Tuesday for the week, and so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we can go ahead and talk about that. I know it's 2 weeks away, but you and Coach Danny were talking earlier about how you'll hopefully have another chance at Kinder.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about, I know that the seedings aren't determined, but talk about what's going to happen, for your second, basically, district round, I guess.
So we take care of business on Tuesday, and we will match up with Kinder. And we'll play a 3-game set at their place. It's kind of like a playoff atmosphere. It's a playoff bracket type set. So the first game, they'll be the home team. The second game will be the home team, and the third game, if needed, they'll be the home team. So it's the best series. So it's 2 out of 3. We play every game at Kinder, and it's for the district championship. So whoever wins that is the district champion. Which I know every game's important, but the one that happened this previous week, it does matter as long as we win 2 out of 3 at Kinder next week.
And look, this is. Of course, 2, you're sitting at 16 right now in the
16
power
or 15,
rankings.
I think. Yeah.
So, I was talking earlier, 20 make the playoffs.
20 make the playoffs.
4, does the top 4 get buys?
No, sir. Top 12.
Top 12 get buys.
And then 13 through 16 are at home.
Okay, so you're playing for a home game or a possible bye.
That's right.
Okay,
that's right. Our goal is to be top 12, but our we want to play at home.
Well, sure,
we want to be at home.
But a couple wins against, of course, finished business this week. A couple wins against Kinder would go a long way toward a home game or even a bye.
No doubt. I think Opelousas Catholic, not to put the cart in front of the horse, but they're sitting at 16, 17, 18 wins. Gina's got 15. Buckeye the following week's got 16, 18. So, we got some opportunities.
Yep. Okay.
We got some opportunities in some games where I thought we should have won early. Mm-hmm. That it kind of hurt us, and that's why we're seeded 15 or 16 right now.
And this is one of the hardest divisions in baseball, right?
No doubt. Top to bottom, I think Division III Select is tough, is the toughest besides non-select Division I. You look at the power ratings, and 1 through 13 could beat any team in the state. And it's been that way. We added Parkview Baptist and Calvary's in there, and University Lab, and now Lafayette Christians just jumped on board in there. St. Louis Catholic, who's 4A, they jumped in there. So it's a tough division, no doubt. But we're used to it,
How do they do that in baseball? Because in soccer we divide it by 4. And how do they do that in baseball?
I think they take all the numbers of the schools and then just
that are selected.
Here's the Division I, here's Division II, here's Division III. So we're actually one of the lowest.
Division III schools.
Division III schools
it actually changed this a little bit too with B and C being pulled out.
That's right. So that's right.
That's true. Well, this week on Tuesday it's home. We will be there. 446 will be there, but it's the Future Eagle Night. That's March 25th, and that's the 6 o'clock game.
6 o'clock game.
One.
We ask all the little guys to come around 5:30, 5:45, and just so they have time to get on the field with our Eagles.
Wear your uniforms. The players wear the uniforms. They get in free, and then dollar hot dogs. So hopefully we can we can keep Robert and Porch Crew cooking some hot dogs and French fries over there, and let's just keep it rolling. And,
That's right.
So we definitely, Rob, once again, our BU Design Player of the Week. Congratulations there. Good job, young man. Look forward to seeing you this week for sure. On Tuesday and Friday, we'll be at the Eagles Nest covering, like I said, we'll cover the Port Barry game, 446 will, and we'll cover the Opelousas Catholic game. So appreciate you guys. For Doug Gann, Chuck Perkins, Danny Clear, Rob, Coach Jordan, I'm running out of breath here. I'm Nick Magnano. May you all have a good evening. May the Lord bless you.